Hi there, I'm happy you're watching again. As you see, we're not at home. We are in France right now. We're in the Provence, in the south of France, and we're staying at a lovely family farm, La Maguette, and you can have lunch here, dinner on Friday, and you have a lovely shop to visit to buy some products from the region. Behind me, there are lovely lavender fields. We are in the lavender area right now, and they are in bloom. And we took some wonderful shots. If you don't want to miss that, it will be in one of our next videos, so please turn on the notification bell. We are talking here with France Passion, so thank you for your hospitality if you're watching this. In this video, I will tell you more about our trip. So far, we are in France for 3 months, and we had a special destination because I had to host a painting retreat in the Aveyron, but more about that later. Of course, I will show you some pages of my brand new art journal dedicated to this journey. But first I want to thank all of you who has subscribed to this channel, and also for the donations. Some of you asked me how you can make a donation, and you can do it in 2 ways. You can do it via Buy Me a Coffee or via PayPal. The links are here below. Also, I'd love to welcome you in one of my online classes at my online school, Brave Art Academy. Thanks so much for your support. It really keeps us going and keeps us continuing to create lovely content for this channel. So now I will take you with me on this trip to France and through my art journal. I'm always thrilled when I start a new journal, especially when I will do the first page. Many people are scared to start right on the first page, the very first page. I'm not. For me, it's a kind of adventure, just like the whole art journal is. I still look forward to many adventures to come, and I will let me be guided by curiosity and just see what happens, what colors are popping up, which kind of, well, mark making things are coming up. And these are just baby towels with leftover paint. And on this page I thought it would be nice to have some blue in it, and later on I added a piece of my favorite jeans, and here I added a piece of text that I wrote when we were on the road. So this is kind of my first impression of the journey. And you must know that we are, next to painting and recording videos and online classes, we are travelers. So we are away for about 6 months a year. So some of my art journals are just dedicated to one trip, and this one is dedicated to a France trip from 2024. As we had to drive long distances because we had to get in the south of France within 2 weeks, bit less than 2 weeks. So in the first week especially, we had to make long distances, so I didn't have a lot of time to make art. So this was, I think, at the end of week 1 that I started journaling, when there was finally some time to create something in my art journal. Luckily, I had a little side project to work on while we were on the road. I worked on this book. I think it took me less than 5 minutes to work on a portrait, and I created a portrait a day. And sometimes I did 2 or 3. The only thing that I did in advance was creating the pages and selecting what kind of paper I wanted to have for this book. So it wasn't really hard for me, and it was good to set myself a goal, because I know myself, when I'm not making that much art, I'm getting a bit grumpy. So already at home, when we had to prepare this journey and my retreat, there wasn't a lot time to paint. So actually I started this one to keep myself going and just do a small project today. And it was a very good thing. And I will show you the full flip through of this book at the very end of this video. So please make sure you watch that. Already on our first day we stayed in France, we stumbled upon a wonderful, mesmerizing poppy field. We stayed at a wonderful alpaca farm and they had lots of other animals too, but this field was, I think, 2 kilometers long and it was right behind our camping spot and it was great. It was mesmerizing. If you'd love to make a poppy field too or a wildflower field, I have a course on my online school, Brave Art Academy, and you can see me visiting magnificent flower fields and I take you step by step through the process of creating a landscape with poppies or other wildflowers in front. The second day of our visit, we got a lovely tour from 2 girls at the farm and they showed us all the animals like rabbits, chinchillas, guinea pigs, and of course the most cutest animals on earth, the alpacas. Oh, and did I say birds? They had also a lovely bird area. Some of the places to visit were already on my list for many, many years. And one of them was Monet's garden in Giverny. I had big expectations from Monet's garden and I would love to see it. The place where the painter created so many masterpieces. If you love seeing gardens, it's definitely worth it. If you don't want to see lots of people, I don't recommend it. One thing that we expected the most, it was already the 6th of June, was a pond filled with water lilies and we haven't seen any. So that was quite disappointing. The garden was beautifully arranged and full of flowers and birds. Most people spend approximately 1.5 hours in the garden and that's exactly what we did. We expected to be there longer, but it was okay enough for us and maybe this is why I also haven't created any art journal page of it. What was worth it was the museum that we visited in the afternoon. It was a collection of paintings at the sea and well, it was, for example, Monet, Gauguin. So that was really wonderful to see and I would recommend to go there. So after our visit to Monet's garden, it was time to visit a more calm place. We found a lovely goat farm in Torcy with ducks, long-haired goats, hens and a peacock that made himself present all the time, not only by showing its feathers but also making its noise. Even in the middle of the night when I was sneezing, the peacock sat on the rooftop of a barn and he was shouting out to me. And after that, our cat Pearl did a meow. My pages at the moment are maybe not complete because this pond of ducks, there were actually 3 ducks and I just did 2. And here's the card of the farm. So there can be something, maybe I have to paint the dominant peacock. Could also be on the following page, which isn't finished as well. It was just color schemes and things that I wanted to glue down, some French texts like this and that. And this was a label from the jus de pomme, apple juice that we bought on the farm where I painted also the poppies. I always find it nice to integrate things that I find along the road, like, well, the label, dried flowers, these things. I really love to put in drawings that I made later on. I made some drawings at this place as well, so maybe I will integrate them, glue them down. I don't know yet. It feels always a bit like I am behind on real life when I'm art journaling. Well, there's always new things that we visit and new adventures we stumble upon. And then I can't, there's no time to process everything I see. And some things aren't even in the art journal because, well, time flies and there's just an amount of time to work in the art journal. And maybe sometimes I do that weeks later after the place I visited. And then I have also struggles with, no, not really struggles, but sometimes it's kind of a challenge to also work from things that I want to create from out of my heart, so from an inner world. And I have a simple solution just by writing down small texts that I can simply add into the art journal. I created these pages, as I said, in the first week, at the end of the first week, and we were at a lovely restaurant situated in close to the Loire River, and the restaurant is called Le Closeau in Valliers-le-Grand. We had a lovely parking next to a pond, and well, this was where I painted these pages, and I think also the poppy and also the first page. And we had a lovely dinner at that restaurant. And this page I created when we stayed at a farm with black pigs, and our dinner was chicory, and I really fell in love with those colors, and I thought this pink would be a lovely, salmon pink would be a lovely combination with this page. So this was at the farm. Some places you visit just once, and some places seem to be spots that you want to return to again and again. Perus Lok is one of those places. Perus Lok is a small town, and next to the already ancient town, which is up the hill, they have a walk to a ruin, medieval ruin, and it's a great walk. And here is something of an old bridge that I've painted. This is from a photo from last year because we've been there last year too. We stayed there for, well, I think last year we stayed there for 4 days, and this year we stayed here for 3 days. And this was just a plant that I found there. In Dutch it's called Blaassilenus. And it's lovely because there are white flowers coming out, and after that it will go like this, and then it's well, there's seed inside. I also done some portraits in my portrait book in Perus Lok, like I did last year too. I started with working in my portrait book for the first time because I had a lot of time to paint. And to my surprise, I saw I've been working in this book too last year on the 5th of August. So I found it very cool to see. This page I created in Perus Lok this year. I started this portrait already when I was home. So this is also the last page from my flip through of the book of portraits. But I added this girl who was walking through the high grass, and maybe she's kind of a fairy, which I really love. She's the full version of her, maybe. And also this page I created in Perus Lok, and it was very hard for me to create this portrait from this position. She looks a bit to the right, for us to the left, and she has her head down. So I was really struggling. And Anthony just gave me a tip to draw something on an orange and turn it around until I had the right position and I could draw it from the orange. This is someone on profile. I really love to paint on burlap. I just treat the burlap pages like it's a normal page of paper or fabric. And this is the final page that I've been working on in Perus Lok, because I really wanted to have someone frontally painted who just had a straight face with the normal proportions. So this is my final page that I created in Perus Lok. We stayed for 3 days in Perus Lok before we went to our final destination so far, Rêve, in the Aveyron region. And there I was about to host a painting retreat, like I said. In the next video, you will see and hear everything about my experience in Rêve, Aveyron. And I hope you'll be there again. Please turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a thing. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do it right now. Don't click away because I still have to share with you my flip through of this mini book of portraits. So this is my little portrait challenge, and I just used not that much materials, like some Derwent Inktense pencils, and sometimes I added some old clothes or just pattern papers. Sometimes I had papers that already had paint on the back, and this one was just something I had from home on a table protection piece of paper. But here I draw something on lined paper that I glued down later on. And it's not in chronological order, because sometimes I change the order of the pages a bit. And sometimes I give myself an extra challenge to take some other colors, like this color I don't use that often. But most of the time I work with the Derwents. I think I've drawn this one with charcoal though. And sometimes I use a bit of paint to do the face. This one, most of the portraits are created intuitively, but this one I had from an old book. I think it's from Toulouse-Lautrec, and it's a girl with a black cat, just like I have. So I wanted to have that one in my book. I really love it that the pages are not the same size. It's not that neat. I don't cut them in the same size. I really love it that you can see slices of other pages, pieces of other pages coming through, like the text or the fabric one. And sometimes I give the portraits a title. Sometimes I have a musical background. So I think in these ones I used acrylic marker as well. Some things I just on kitchen towel, like this blue thing, and use book pages. I slightly painted them with a bit of background color so the letters will still come through. I think I did this one with charcoal as well, and this one I did with, I think, a normal pencil. And here's a text again. Also a lined page again. I really love collecting different pages for a background. So here I have added some old portraits. I changed them a bit, but I already had them for a lot of time, for quite a time. And they were from an online class that I followed about portraits. And it was a great class, but I didn't know what to do with these portraits. So I just added them into the book, changed them a bit. And sometimes I feel like working in black and white only, and I love the text. It's almost like a little diary. So it's all, most of the things are in Dutch. So this one is in English. And here's, for example, one with a name Survivor. And on the back there's this one, but there are actually two. One is helping her. And there's a text next to it. On the road, you always take yourself with you. And then there's that's cozy. Another one, I think this is from the Sewing the Threads. I don't know how it's called, but yeah, this is from a calendar. Elderly, those are the others. It's a quote from Simone de Beauvoir, and there it is: I am not one of the elderly. Another text, go with text, also mirrored. I think it's on the back. Oh, it's backwards as well. It's mirrored and backwards. So I've been doing a lot of portraits. The answer to intensity is to go inwards. I'm so tired. And this is the one directly on the kitchen towel. And there's one on the back as well. This is with paint because it's not very easy to work with the pencils, the Derwents on this paper. And here I have another one made on, I think it's craft paper. And on the back it's just a piece of package wrapping paper. And this is something that I really love because this is a face I'd drawn on this side, and on the back I saw a face which was kind of leaking through, bleeding through the paper. I think this is a color catcher that I got out of the laundry, out of the washing machine, and it was leaking, so this one was coming through at the other side. So they're two completely different faces, but they're kind of the same. This is also called the other side. And this was one of my portrait challenge that I did earlier. I think it was not this year, I think it was last year. And this was one of the en profile that I created. This is one of the last ones. So this was the mini portrait challenge. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.